Okay, so how do you know if you need to pivot? How do you need to know if you need to change your company quite a lot? Well, one of my customers a while back, they had the horrible position. They were in the oil and gas industry, and it was, I think it was about 2012, 2011, something like that. So we'd had the Great Recession that had gone on. Massive drop in oil prices, and they suddenly found that all their oil and gas customers had no orders. Yeah, and if their customers had no orders, my customer had no orders. And there's only a certain amount that you can do if your customers have no orders, because the customers' margins are getting absolutely gouged. So where are they going to find their cost savings? They're going to find it from you as a supplier. And if nobody's got any orders, it really doesn't matter how good at marketing or sales you are, you're going to be only making marginal improvements. If the industry's dropped 70% in turnover, even if you're 5%, 20% better than everybody else, you're only going to be getting 33% of the sales that you used to get. So you've got a big problem. So this is a classic example of where a company needs to pivot and change itself. And what we did is we did a bunch of things for this customer. First of all, we went through the whole of the market and sort of looked, where have we got an advantage? Where have we got some competitive strength? And in this case, we found a couple of product lines that were really nice. We didn't reckon it was going to last very long, but because the customer had got nothing else to do, we were able to pivot quite rapidly to say, instead of selling this, we are going to sell this. And that provided an immediate cash lifeline to the customer as we sold badly, but we were actually selling something to get their cash flow above through flatline level. And the second thing that we went out and did is we went out and said, okay, how can we really reduce the cash outflow? And the customer had been running a business the same way for many years. In fact, the business was pretty much the same as it would have been operated in, say, 1900. The difference was that they used email rather than fax or telegram. And they got a sales team of about 12 staff, of which sort of 6 or 7 were doing admin duties that were really non-value producing. So when we looked at it, we said, okay, an awful lot of this can be done by, can be changed by, okay, taking advantage of computers, automation. And we spent, I think it was a month over Christmas, building an entirely new ordering system in Salesforce that allowed pretty much, instead of taking, I think it was 3 days that the customer took to quote a potential client because of the technical complexity, and we reduced that to 3 or 4 hours by doing that. And at the same time, not only did we reduce the speed, but there was a vast amount of cost that we cut out because all those admin staff were able to go. And this is the sort of thing that you need to look at when you're transforming a business. It's like, what is necessary? Now, a lot of those things, yeah, okay, target a different market, cut costs out by radically changing the business. It's like saying, that's really obvious, Dennis. Well, yes, it is really obvious, but actually it's not obvious at all when you're in the thick of it. And not only is it not obvious, you might actually think of doing this, but fundamentally it is really scary, because a lot of the time you've got too much emotional involvement. What happens if I take this step? It's too risky and it doesn't work, and I am going to fail, and I'm not going to have enough food on the table to fill my kids. I'm not going to be able to send them to school. I'm not going to be able to pay the mortgage. I'm going to be homeless. And that is a massive burden to be avoiding change or do anything. And so statistics go on, and slowly you go down. No, I shouldn't. Down. That's much better. It's all doom and gloom. By working with somebody, and this isn't a sales pitch, find a mastermind, find somebody you trust, find somebody who's not engaged in the business, talk these things through, get advice. Then you can really start saying, okay, break out the risks, see how you can get it to work, and then jump. Yeah, and 99 times out of 100, once you start taking forward action, you get much better results than the results that you fear could happen. Anyway, I'm Denis Oakley. This is Denis Oakley Strategy Consulting on YouTube. Please subscribe and follow me for more high energy entrepreneurial and small business advice. And also head over to denis-oakley.com for more entrepreneurial goodness. Lots of tasty morsels. Thanks for listening.